For the cheapest LoL skins, visit skinsforlol.com. Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome you to a new League of Legends video. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about some more tips, but this time I want to specifically focus on Yasuo. This is a champion that most people look at as just being too OP and easy to play. But quite honestly, I think that this champion at a higher level of play is really difficult to play. And you must really know what you're doing with him, or else you will fall behind or just simply get blown up in a team fight. But with all that being said, there are 3 really important tips that I think you all should know and I really want to mention as well. The first one that I will talk to you guys about is using your ultimate at the right time. The second tip is using your E, the dash, in order to go over certain walls in the jungle, which can be really useful to either escape or chase. And the third tip is using your Q again through the jungle minions in a certain area in order to charge up the stacks to get it to the 3rd stack while you're maybe running to another lane or to the jungle to help an ally. So now you know the 3 tips that I will be covering. Let's go into the first one, using your ultimate at the right time. One mistake I see a lot of Yasuo players do is that they use their ultimate too fast. For instance, if you're dueling one champion, so a 1 versus 1 scenario, and you knock them in the air, you shouldn't always use your ultimate right away. You should always try using it at the last second possible as they're descending back to the ground. The reason for this is because while they're in the air, you'll most likely have enough time to get an auto attack in and give more time for your Q to reset cooldown so that you can use it again, which will overall just increase your damage output on that target. So take a look at that example again. As you can see, once I get the 3 stacks on my Q, as I knock the Teemo up, I don't use my ultimate the very second he's in the air. I first use my Q, use my E in this case to lower him down further, and then I use my ultimate. Doing this made him stay in the air overall for a longer time, which also gives my Q a longer time to go off its cooldown. Here's another example of why using your ultimate too soon sometimes can be bad. So let's say I have 2 opponents that I wanted to use my Q on, but I wanted to use my ultimate on the Teemo. As I use my Q on the Blitz and knock him up, if I use my ultimate too fast, I'll simply just ulti the Blitz and that's it, and I won't be able to jump to the Teemo whatsoever. But if I waited for the Teemo to go in the air and then use my ultimate rather than spamming it and getting it off ASAP, I could have used it on the right target. There are only 2 scenarios in my opinion where using your ultimate as soon as possible might be a better option. The first one is if you need to really proc your passive, because once you use your ultimate, you get a full stack passive, which is your shield. The second scenario is your positioning. If you really need to get out of the area in which you are in currently, and the only way to do that is with the ultimate that you have on a certain target that you knocked in the air or that an ally knocked in the air, then you might want to use it as soon as possible as well. But other than that, I do recommend waiting till the last second to use your ultimate, because technically you'll keep them suspended in the air for a longer time and be able to output more damage overall. The second tip that I want to talk to you guys about is using your dash, the E, over certain walls thanks to the jungle minions. This can be really useful whenever you're being chased or trying to chase someone and you want to really cut a corner and get to them faster or get away from them faster. This actually works on every single jungle minion. But what you will notice is that I'm not showing it with the red buff, because the red buff is simply just way too hard to do, and the amount of distance covered for the red buff is really not even worth how hard it is. So you saw me do it right there in those examples, but there's an easier way to do it, and a quick shout out to Bishu because I learned this part from him. What you want to do is go to your menus, go to additional hotkeys, abilities and summoner spells, scroll all the way down near the bottom and you can see one that says target champions only. And you can use this to make sure that you can go as close as possible to the minion without attacking it, which helps you position yourself easily to get a perfect E over the wall. And you can see right there I get it over. But don't forget, this can be done the other way around. You just need vision within the area. And you can use your E to either escape or chase someone down, going the opposite way this time. This will require some practice, especially the first part, so I recommend you try that before you do this in a real game. The third and final tip for this video I want to talk to you guys about is charging up your Q again with the jungle minions. This is something that is somewhat easy to do, however it's also really important. It is vital to have the 3 charges on his Q, especially if you're roaming down to a certain area. For instance, if you want to go gank bot, top lane, or help your jungler. And there's certain areas that you can use this Q, like you saw with the white for example, that is over the wall, that won't make you have to go to an awkward spot. It's pretty much on the way to your destination. Here you see the race, and this is probably the most common area that I do this on. It is a little tricky when you don't have any vision, so it might take a bit of practice. But whenever you're roaming down to go to the bottom lane, or if you want to go down to help your team with a dragon or something of the sort, or a team fight is erupting, that is an amazing place to quickly charge up just as you leave lane, so that you are able to arrive at the fight or scene with your Q ready, charged up, so you can knock people in the air and follow up with your ultimate. So all these tips that I mentioned are quite vital. Some are simple, some are hard. But the dashing over the wall and the Q over the wall on the minions in the jungle are pretty important, but do take some practice. But that is it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy it or learn something new, definitely throw in a like down below and maybe share it with your friends. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you for the next video. Peace!